Today is Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 10 to 4. Yesterday we looked after Benson whilst Joe went out to see a homeopath with Achi, and she was gone. She was actually gone nearly 2 hours, and for the first hour, Benson just did not settle. Was very upset, crying, barking, howling, um, crying, and I just felt so sorry for him. Um, and I think I felt sorry for him because it reminded me of when I was about 4 or 5, and my mum would take me up to stay with her mother. I'm not sure how long I was left there for, but I didn't really have any warning that that's what was going to happen, and I'd be left with her mother. So I have memories of mum driving off and the shock of her driving off. Now I'm not saying she didn't warn me, but I was 4 or 5, um, and then being unconsolable for hours and hours, sobbing. So um, poor Benson. And Benson's not my favourite of the two dogs, and I can say that because dogs don't know whether one of them's a favourite. But he's not my favourite. But I felt really sorry for him because he just could not. He was just inconsolable. He'd lost his brother and his mother. They'd gone, and whatever we did, whatever we said, however we spoke to him, sitting with him, stroking him, all of the soothing things that we didn't work. Eventually, he started to settle, but in settling, he was still crying, under his breath, and then he'd get up again, and then but eventually he settled down over on the sofa, quietly, and it was still an hour before she came back. And Mark said it reminded him of the kids that we saw when we were doing our training. The children back in the 50s, there were films made of children that were left in care for whatever reason, and you'd see the child going from protesting really loudly, and then giving up, and then becoming very quiet and what's the word? Just be very, very quiet and placid, and giving up. And so when eventually the parent came back, which could have been weeks later, back then, they didn't really feel or realise quite how important it was for the parent to be around. The parent came back and the child didn't respond, didn't get excited that the parent had come back. Very sad. I mean, obviously Benson was only away from him for 2 hours, but it just reminded us of that a bit. We tried to get the fire stick going yesterday so that we could have a look at, I think it was yesterday or the night before, we could see if there were any films on there that we could watch, but we couldn't. It won't connect to the internet. It won't accept the password. I changed the password on the free box, and it won't accept the change password. Jo was here when she came back. She tried, and it wouldn't accept it. They give up. But the other box set that we ordered to watch, called The Newsroom, which is by Aaron Sorkin, arrived yesterday afternoon. So we didn't know it was in the box until late yesterday evening. So I think we'll probably start watching that tonight. But when I picked up the box, I said to him, "It's not going to last long." The West Wing was 7 series and really heavy. This really not heavy because I could hold it in one hand. I made stew the other day, which we had on the following day, and then I have left it, and it's been sitting in the slow cooker since I made it, which is fine with stew. I reheated it quickly as in fast, this morning, and brought it up to so it was boiling, and turned it off. And I've now divided it into 3 portions, 2 of which are in the freezer. I made put a whole chicken in a pot, a cooking pot, one of the pots that I used to use for my bread, with brown rice and curry broth, curry and chicken broth. Rubbed the chicken all over with curry powder inside and out. Um, and then remembered you're not meant to rub chickens over inside and out because of whatever it is. Can't remember what the bacteria is that you can get if your chicken's not been well cared for in its processing. We don't see. I don't think we have that problem here. I think in the US, the US food standards are lower than they are here in Europe. But I did sit there thinking, oh shit, did this, did that. Anyway, did that, cooked it in a pot for 2 hours, and it was really lovely. So we had the chicken leg each and some rice, and I fried up. I'd got half a cabbage that I've been waiting to use up, so I fried up the cabbage, and we had that. And the rest, and there was quite a lot of rice, so that's I put in the freezer, and the rest of the chicken's gone in the freezer. So there's still a whole chicken, just minus its legs. So it's not a whole chicken, but not one of the chickens from the garden. I went down and let them out this morning, and the white hen got off her nest. She's the only one laying. We've only been getting eggs from her now for 3 weeks. No one else has laid an egg. I do suspect that we were sold hens that weren't point of lay, because normally hens that are point of lay at the time that we bought them were hatched before June, and they would normally lay throughout the winter. Well, the Maren's not laying, so I don't think Mrs. Brahma's not laying, but that would be normal for her through winter. But the Maren's not laying, so yeah, I picked up an egg, warm egg, brought it back, thought, oh, that's good, I've got an egg, and dropped it, and it cracked open on the side, so that went in the compost bin. It was very misty this morning. It's clearer now, and it's very quiet. Oh, we've got some Christmas decorations up. I can't be bothered to show you. That's awful, isn't it? I'm sure you'll see them another day. We've got to go and book blood tests tomorrow. We've both got to have full blood tests to check our along other things, to check our HbA1c, which is the measurement that measures your sugar levels for 3 months. I'm not looking forward to seeing mine, and I don't think he'll be pleased with his, because he's been having more things that are sugary. I'm sure I have, but the problem for me is that I feel guilty whenever I eat. I haven't weighed myself for weeks because I think, no, I don't want to look. But the reality is probably not as bad as my fantasy, so we'll see. Anyway, so we've got to go and book those tomorrow. We also need to go down and get Vicky a present. And that's it, really. We've got to go into Chauvigny at some point one morning and place our order for our Christmas food from the restaurant. I can show you the menu probably, but it might be the wrong way round. See what I can do. Hold on a minute. You can see the Christmas decks and that thing's in the way. That's my arm at full stretch. I've ordered 4 lots of the aperitifs because it's for 2 days. So it's for the aperitifs are per person, and I've ordered 4, so 2 per day. And I've ordered 1 mijoté de cerf for me, and 2 lots of quail, 1 for Mark, 1 for me. And for Mark, his second choice is cassoulet de noix de Saint-Jacques. Saint-Pierre, egg crevette. I can never remember what fish Saint-Pierre is. In a lobster sauce. And then there are graffin dauphinois, mousseline de potimarron à la vanille, et écrasé de pommes de terre. à la truffe d'hiver. So that's yeah. So I've ordered 2 days worth of meals. We'll pick them up Christmas Eve and put them in the fridge. And one lot will be heated for Christmas Day, and then the other lot will be. They'll probably be all right for 2 or 3 days in the fridge, or even longer. And then we'll heat them up for another day. And that's it, really. Yeah, nothing exciting to report. Let me just have a look at your comments in case there's anything I want to comment on or respond to. Oh, that cut off. That cut off because I moved it. Linda says, Kathy, I try to think about other people when I'm in pain, but it sometimes works, but when in real pain it doesn't. And you're right, I know it, but it was just at that moment I thought, my problems are nothing. And Susan, aka Van Lassie, Time magazine chooses based on impact rather than goodness. Well, what a shame. Isn't that awful? Yeah, I'd forgotten. Hitler, Churchill, for fuck's sake. I think Time magazine need to go and F off. And the drones. A couple of you, Kathy, you've mentioned drones, and Dev Vanderson, you've mentioned drones, and I've seen it since on the news, and it's like, what the fuck's that about? What's going on? It's creepy, isn't it? I think with the situation for you over there, anything out of the unusual like that is creepy, and it could be. I was just going to say it could be something innocent. I don't think it could be, could it? But it's creepy. And it just makes me think about why we disconnected from Starlink, because I'm thinking, what the fuck's he going to do? What can he do? I have to be really careful when I talk about him because there's a word I want to say that I'm not meant to say. Yeah, so Kathy, you mentioned the drones, and hold on. Come on. No. I can't get this to go down without using my mouse. Oh, and I always do my mouse the wrong way. It's because it's an Apple mouse. I'm still trying to roll it the wrong way, often. Oh, the owner, Kathy, by the way, the new owner of CEO of Time magazine, is a good friend and contributor to the Schittler. Well, there we go. That explains it, doesn't it? Talking about the guy that shot the CEO of that health company. I think it is disgusting what's happening with the health companies. Absolutely disgusting. But I still don't agree with murder. I still don't agree that you use violence and guns to do things. Oh, Jane, I didn't realise that was you. Jane, all that sunshine and blue sky. I'm very envious. Thick grey cloud here in the UK for many days now. Not a blink of sun at all. Very grim. Sorry, Jane. We haven't got any sun or blue sky now. That was a brief moment of blue skyedness. Oh, I know what I was going to say. We had, I don't know whether I can show it here. We had last night, I knew it was happening and I was going to go out and film it, thinking I could just stand at the end of the hamlet and watch, but then couldn't remember, and then thought, actually, might not come up this road, they might come up the other road, because there are parallel roads coming up from Jouet, where they were coming from. And it was Père Noël with a load of tractors illuminated. So it was a bit of a Christmas carnival. And they shared the video on Facebook, and it was just really lovely. I just thought it was really lovely, and I think what I liked about it was just very simple. It was simple. There was lots of lights. I'm just going to run the video. I'm going to pause you and get to a bit in the video where there's more to see. So this is somebody standing just on the edge of the bank by the bridge as it comes over the river. So this goes on for a good 5 minutes. And I just think it's so simple. And yet all the children and all the people in the village would have loved it. All the kids would have loved it. It's so rural France. I suppose it's that it's unsophisticated. Now, I don't know whether you've seen it or not now. I'm sort of thinking, did I turn that off? Did I turn it on? We'll never know. Well, we will know when I go into editing. And then my friend Leslie this morning shared, this is losing its spring, this thing. My friend Leslie shared Bridgewater Carnival, which is the complete opposite and absolutely mental. I've got to see if I can find you a bit of that. Welcome to the show. So, as you can see, a bit of a contrast. But yeah, I wished I'd been there in the village. It was very cold, and I sort of made a decision that I wasn't going to go, but I wish I had now. But there you go. So that's it. So this is 2 videos, so I'm going to have to edit them together and then upload them through my laptop through the internet, which is very slow. So you'll probably get this tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching, and thanks for all your comments. Did I do them all? I got a bit carried away, didn't I? Oh, Pauline, I'm really sorry. Really, really sorry about your loss. The loss of your son, and yeah, you really don't need to be looking at my videos and commenting. It's fine, and I don't know what else to say to you. It's horrible. Yeah. So, thanks for watching.